So, welcome to section 9 of refraction of light at curved surfaces. In the previous class, we have learned about the ray diagrams of the convex lens, how the image is formed when the object is moving, that is, but passing through a convex lens placed at different positions. So, now we are going to discuss today ray diagrams for concave lens. So, when we place the object at different positions or different places, how the image is forming, we will be learning in this session. So, ray diagrams to the ray diagrams using the situation 1, situation 2, situation 3 and situation 4, which we have learned in the earlier classes. And on this, some problems are there. That means ray diagrams only. So, some ray diagrams having some conditions. So, through using the conditions, you have to complete that following that diagram according to the situations. Next one is incomplete ray diagram will be given. That incomplete ray diagram should be completed using our situations. These are the things we are going to learn today. So here in the biconcave lens, when you are drawing the ray diagram, we used to have, that means we learned 6 situations where object is placed at infinity, beyond the center of curvature, at center of curvature, between center of curvature and focal point, at focal point, between focal point and optic center. In all these 6 cases, only one cases we got that in object we form a virtual image, enlarged virtual and erect image. That means in that particular case can be used for making a simple magnifying glass or simple microscope, we can say. So in that case, now we are going to learn. So in our textbook, we have not focused much about the concave lenses. So a few diagrams are there. Why it is not so stressed on that part? Let us see now. So I will be taking a concave lens. This is a concave lens. We have two inward curves. This side is inward curve and this is also a curve inside. So instead of using this lens, so it is very convenient for me or for everybody to use the symbol of the lens. So as this symbol to draw the ray diagrams in a very specific manner in a very short time. So let us draw the ray diagram. So now I am drawing a ray diagram when the object is placed beyond C. So what are the situations? First situation is the light ray passing along the principal axis will not deviate. Second situation is the light ray which is passing through the optic center will not be deviated. Third situation is when the light ray is passing along, that is nothing but parallel to the principal axis, refracts and passes through the focus. And fourth one is the rays which are coming from the focus, they will pass parallel to the principal axis as if they are coming from the focus. So that is the four cases. So case 1. So I am drawing when the object is placed beyond center of curve. This is a concave lens, biconcave. So this is a biconcave lens. So for this lens, I will be drawing this one. We will draw a lens. The symbol of lens will be like this. This is the lens, and we have this principal axis. The meeting point of this lens and this principal axis is called optic center P. And from here to here, we are calling it as nothing but F2, and this is C2. And this side will be having F1, and this is C1. So what is the condition here? When the object is, that is the object is placed beyond center of curvature. So center of curvature is here and center of curvature here. Then where should I place the object? Choose the point beyond center of curvature. This is my object. So I am placing the object beyond center of curvature. O dash is my object. So when you place the object, so I am taking the situation 3, that is the situation 3, nothing but what is the situation 3? When the light ray is traveling parallel to the principal axis, what happens? It will travel parallel to the principal axis, so like this. And because it is a divergent lens, so the light will be refracted as if it is coming from the focus lens. If I extend this back, that will come and meter. So if I extend, no problem. So that will be second. Another first situation is that this third situation I am using. The light ray parallel from this point travels parallel to the principal axis and refracts, and it will travel in this direction. This is the incident ray and this is the refracted ray. And next one is when the light ray is passing through the optic center will not deviate. This is second situation. So second situation I am using that from the same point I am drawing is the ray passing through the optic center. This is the optic center. So here. So in this case, this ray, that means this ray which is passing through the optic center, light ray from this point, and this refracted ray which is nothing but extended back. They are moving, that is meeting at one point virtually. This is a imaginary line, this is a straight line. So they are meeting at one point. This is my image point. So therefore image point I denote with I dash. So from here if I draw a dotted line on the principal axis, this is my object I, this is I and this is I dash. See how much the object is. Object is forming on the same side of the concave lens where the object is placed. Same side of the concave lens where the object is placed. And this image is highly diminished. It is very small compared to that of the object size of the object. Very small. So that is called highly diminished. So as it is cannot be caught on the screen. So this is a virtual image which is forming on the same side and it is above the principal axis. Therefore it is erect. So we can write it is a virtual image, virtual comma, and erect, erect and highly diminished. This we have very much diminished, very much small than compared to that of the object. Diminished, and then it is forming, the image is forming between focus point and optic center. So it forms, image is formed between focus and optic center. This is the thing here. So when the object is placed beyond the center of curvature, the image is forming between the focus and the optic center. So this is a highly diminished image. So virtual image and erect image. So this is the case one. So in this one we are forming an image between F and P, virtual, highly diminished. Now when you are going for another, let us go for another one. So when you bring this that is nothing but this onto this, that is nothing but object. If you bring here, as we have done in the earlier, when the object is brought at C. So what happens to the image? Let us see. So I will be changing here. Object is placed at C. Instead of beyond, I will remove when the object is placed at C. So I will be drawing the symbol of lens. So the symbol of lens is, this is the symbol of lens, concave lens, and principal axis, this is the optic center, and this is F2, and this is C2, and here F1 and C. This is the optic center. And where my object should be, so let us take the object between C1 and F1. That means the object is between C and F. The object is at center of curvature. That means my object is at C1 and F. That is C1 O dash. So I cannot keep point upon point. So that's why I am taking my object as C O dash is my object. Now I am drawing again using the rule number 3. So situation 3 is When the if you draw a line parallel to the principal axis like this after refraction, so what happens? It is refracted like this as if it is coming from the force. So this is going like this, traveling in the direction. Similarly, another way, that means second situation, if you use as from the same point, if you draw a line that is nothing but parallel, that is nothing but passing through the optic center, the two rays will meet at one point, that is I dash, that is image point, and that image point from here. So here it is I dash is the image point. Here also, in this case also, the image is forming between F1 and P, that means focus and the optic center. So when the object beyond the center of curvature, that time also the image is formed between F1 and P. When the object is at center of curvature, then also it is forming between F1 and P. That means wherever you keep the object, the image will form and between P and F. P and F. In all the situations, the image will be forming at P and F. And this image is so virtual image, diminished image, and virtual, diminished, and erect image. So it forms virtual image, virtual, erect, and diminished. Diminished image, and it is forming between these 2 points. Always when you keep the object between C1 and F, then also the image will form between F and P. When you place the object everything, so the image will be forming at the same time. That's why we are learning only with the help of these 2 examples. I want to conclude that wherever you keep the object, the image is forming between P and F. So you try and remaining the ray diagrams, wherever you keep the object, the image will be forming such that, see, you should take 2 situations. One is parallel to the principal axis and refract it and produce it to F and draw a ray which passes through the optic center. See that these 2 distances should be same both the sides. Then only you get correct ray diagram. So this is the ray diagram. Now, what is the difference? When the positions of the image is changing in case of convex lens, the image size is also changing in the case of convex lens. But here, irrespective of the changing position of the object, the image is forming between P and F. This is the behavior of ray diagrams for drawing concave lens. So, let us draw a example problem. Let us solve an example problem, which is example 4 given in your textbook. So, this is draw a ray diagram for the positions located on the source and given the object is here. So, here he has given one convex lens. So, convex lens is given. So, this is a convex lens. So, example 4. So, it is a convex lens. So, convex lens is there and we have drawn this is, what is this? This is the optic center from here to here. This is F1 because this is convex lens, this is C1 and this will be F2 and this will be C2. So, this is the thing here. And if you don't take C1 and F1, nothing will happen as we don't take this one. So, F1 and F2 are enough for us. So, by this one also we can do. So, the source is placed. So, let us think this as Mn. In your textbook given, Mn is nothing but principal axis and this one, principal axis of this particular lens. So, Mn and a source is given here. Just let us think that the point is given, object and the point is S. So, and from here, a ray is traveling. That means a light ray is traveling straight like this and incident on this surface, and afterwards it is refracting and meeting at this point, and that point is called I. I is the refracting point. Then one thing I want, where the image will form. So one thing we know that the light will travel through this, will remain undeviated. The light passing through along the principal axis remains undeviated. That is the one case. And here another ray is traveling and hitting here. point is I. This is the point I. There is the image is formed. If you keep your eye here, you can see the image here. So the two rays enter my eye, then I can make the image. So how this will be formed? So next thing is, now you draw a. I told you what is this perpendicular you draw from the focus. We discussed in the earlier class. So perpendicular drawn from the focus on the principal axis is called focal plane. This perpendicular line is called focal plane. In this we can the focus can vary. So from this one, I am drawing a light that is a ray from this point to pass from this point. So this ray will pass from this point and will come here. And this will be F naught. This is F naught. See, F is very here. So this is my conclusion. That means this is called focal plane. The line perpendicular to the focus to the principal axis is called focal plane of that particular surface. So from this diagram, so here will be given. So think this P and this is P dash. So this all the terminologies and are there. And this is one source is here. And one ray is traveling along the principal axis, remains indicated. Another ray is going and hitting the say which is lens at P dash and being refracted, meeting the axis, principal axis at I, and taking the plane of focal plane. And I am drawing a line passing through the optic center through the focal plane. This is the meeting point, and that is F naught. That is the focal plane. So here the plane meets the principal axis at S. I is the image. Now from here, example problems is completed. 4 is completed. Example 4 is completed. And next, incomplete problems. So incomplete ray diagrams will be like this. So this is a convex lens. So the diagram, the given data is like this. So this is the principal axis. Now nothing will be given you. They will be giving you. This is F1 and again this is F2 and a ray is coming and hitting the surface. And this much only they will be asking you to complete the ray diagram. So again you have to use the situation 1 or situation 2 or situation 3 according to our convenience, and you have to complete the ray diagram. But for the first one, you know, when the light ray hits this one here, and what happens, it will bend. You know that it will bend towards the focus. That is passes to the focus. From here it will pass to the focus. That is first one, and is passing to the focus. This is, and we extend this one up to here. After passing, you draw a focal plane from this point parallel to the lens and perpendicular to principal axis passing to the focus, and draw a line passing to the optic center onto this one, and that should be parallel. See, this is parallel to this incident, and draw this one. Bring this one and draw this one. Don't draw it like so. It should be parallel to this line. The line which you are drawing to the optic center should be a parallel. So like this. So bring, this is a parallel. I have drawn this one and I am drawing. So this is meeting point. So this is the meeting point, and that meeting point is here, and this is the complete diagram. So whatever the diagram was given, this diagram has finished. This is focal plane. F naught we can denote, or we can. This is the completion of a diagram. So which was there. Now next incomplete diagram is for another ray. So it is given like this. So this is a concave lens. And here the diagram is like this. This is the optic center P. Optic center P. So A, continue. B. So therefore two diagrams are there. So here the diagram is given like this. So this is hitting here. So here there will be F2 and this will be F. So and if you extend this one, then what will happen? So you draw a ray from from this, and this will be refracted like this, and extend this one. As it is coming from this side, and extend. So when extend this. And draw this perpendicular from this end. And next, from this point, you draw any line which is passing this one. So like this way, and extend this way as well. This meeting point is focal point FO. This is the completion of ray diagram. First of all, whatever it is given, it is refracted. If we extend this one, this will come and meet at one point. Draw the focal plane meeting point of this one, and this one will be meeting like this, and draw a line in this path, and which travels like this. So which travels like this, and will meet at F0, and this is the completion of the ray diagram. Therefore, the ray diagram can be completed by drawing a perpendicular line from the focus, that is foot of the plane of focal plane, or plane of focal plane will be seen. By this, we can say that we can conclude that ray diagrams can be formed by this continuation, by this following methods. Now, in the coming next classes, we will be learning the lab activity to find that means the relation between U, V and F. What is U? U is the object distance. Object distance means the distance from the object to the optic center. The distance from the object to the optic center of a lens is called object distance U, and the distance between the optic center and the image, where the image is formed, that distance is called image distance. And F, image distance denoted by the letter V. And next one is the distance from the focus to the optic center. This is called focal length, as we have discussed earlier in the classes. That is called focal length. That is denoted by small case letter. That is nothing but small f. F is nothing but focal length of the lens. So relation between this one will be given by performing an activity. The activity gives the information how to correlate these all the things U, V, F. So to find the image distance, when we know the focal length of a lens and image, where is the object, where the object is placed. Object distance if you know, and focal length of a lens we know, then we can find the where the image will be formed. The image distance can be calculated. Like these two are incomplete figures. So from this one, so we have concluded that means we have drawn the diagrams and completed the figures. One diagram is nothing but ray diagram for concave lens. Example problems of this one and completing the ray diagram, incomplete ray diagrams. Not only given these two, you can try many more also which are given in the exercise. So in the upcoming problems, so you will be seeing this one. So lab activity is there. In the lab activity, aim is nothing but so observing the image distance, object distance by measuring the image distance and object distance of a lens. So we have to find the focal length. For that, materials are we have to use a candle. So candles which we use in the candle wax candle, and next one is we have to use wear convex lens, a white paper, and we have to use V-stand, measuring tape or a meter tape. So here, therefore I can conclude by this one saying that this lab activity can be studied in next class after completing this one. Thank you. Have a nice day.